happy Wednesday, and welcome to the podcast where passion and purpose collide. We are on a mission to interview women and the occasional token man about how their passion and purpose have collided to create healthy relationships and profitable businesses. I'm Elizabeth Denham, publisher of the Franchise Woman magazine, and I'm here with Rebecca Monet, who is president and chief scientist of Zoracle Profiles, and now co-publisher of the Franchise Woman. Rebecca, we start each week off with our roses and thorns. Why don't you let us know how you're doing and what your highs and lows of the week were?
So I had an interesting experience this week, which I don't have often, and that was kind of the not feeling as passionate as I usually do. I mean, I love what I do, but I had sort of a dip last week where I'm like, that's it, I'm out of here. I can't do this anymore. I'm tired of the minutia. I'm tired of this, etc., etc. And then, it goes back to everything we're talking about purpose and passion and all of that stuff. And I kind of lost sight of what the bigger picture was. I lost sight of what the bigger purpose was, and which was, of course, causing some issues with my passion. So, and then in addition to that, I stepped on the scales.
I don't know where this is going, but it's already funny.
Stepped on the scales, and my COVID 4 pounds I have put on since this quarantine. So between feeling self-pity about the weight and the passion, honestly, I don't know which caused worse. It's like, that's it, I'm done, I'm quitting, I'm going off to some island somewhere and I'm disappearing. But the good part about it, the kind of the rose part of it, was I ended up on a conversation with one of my franchisors, Dennis Curdy of Sharky's Cuts for Kids. And he brought perspective back. He said, Rebecca, if you're worn out, if you're exhausted, it's because you have not attached whatever it is you were doing to a bigger purpose, to a passion. So start to see the things that you're doing day to day and how they correlate to, this is you fulfilling your purpose. This is you fulfilling your passion. And he says, watch your energy start to come back. And it was one of those, shouldn't I be telling him that? Aren't I the one?
Right? We all need to hear it sometimes, right?
We do. And it just kind of snapped me back. And so now I'm looking at everything. Is this in alignment with my purpose? Is this in alignment with the passion that I have? And sure enough, as he had predicted, the energy started to come back. Now, I haven't lost the 4 pounds since
That'll come. Come.
The more fuel of passion, the more that weight comes off. Is that how it works?
Yes, I think that's got to be it.
I'm with you, girl. I'm with you.
But it's funny. You say to yourself, because I say these things to myself a lot, shouldn't I be the one telling you? Isn't this my role to do that? And I have that feeling a lot, but we all need the reminder. Even when you know better, you sometimes just need that outside person to say, okay, here's where you veered. Now let's get back on track, because you can't always be completely self-aware, even when you know better.
And that comes back to everything you and I are committed to, which is this idea of community and transparency. Because I had such a great relationship with my franchisor, I could share this, and he knew I was just being transparent and honest, and it allowed him to step into that gap and support me and provide some advice. So community and transparency, so important.
It is. And I think that him being in that role for this particular time, it was probably gratifying for him, because you don't want to feel like the relationship is unbalanced in terms of who needs more or who's getting more advice. And sometimes that is a defined role. But when you have a relationship beyond work, you do get to have that give and take for each other, which is interesting, because it kind of leads right into I think our roses might be the same this time. But my thorn was basically my feelings today. It was this morning and last night. And actually, I've talked about it before. I had a pastor in my church who I had felt kind of let my family down and didn't stand up when we needed it when my son came out. And we felt rejected and shunned by our church and the members in it. And it was very difficult because we were 6 years there and we had ingratiated ourselves and were, leaders of the youth group and all these things. And I just got hung up in my feelings and my expectations. And so I was just in a funk this morning. I just felt like I'm not okay. I'm not over it. We've been gone for 2 years. We have a very lovely church where everybody's accepted, included, and that's over. But sometimes you get hung up in those feelings. And so my rose is that my son and his boyfriend are in town for the week. My daughter I was texting with, I talked to you about it. My husband he's always very good at setting me straight and setting my expectations and saying I can be hard on people when I feel like they've hurt me or others. I do have high expectations of people, but I don't have any that I don't have for myself. So I think that's how I justify it.
Yes.
And sometimes that's not right either. But I think having the community, like you said, I have friends and I have family members and you can talk through those things without judgment and get the support that you need in order to, make better forms of communication with people or not to communicate with them, whatever the better place is. So, sometimes feelings are just stinky.
I know. Well, feelings can hijack us, right? And they're fleeting and oftentimes they're not correct. But it's very easy to get kind of caught up in those feelings and assume because we are feeling this, it's right. It's correct.
Right.
And therefore it's our job to correct others because we're feeling this way. So I love that you step back and you talked with your husband and you talked directly with your pastor and you got me involved and other people involved and where you could analyze what was this feeling really about, right? And
I think that's important too, because like you said, when you were talking, perspective is everything. And we tend to lose it. And you surround yourself with the people who help you regain it.
Yes.
I think, and who know you and know, even when you screw up or say something maybe you shouldn't have, know that your intention was good, and I think this woman's intentions are good. But I think sometimes even with good intentions, we hurt people that we care about. So navigating those things and do you want to bring it up and talk to somebody about it? Should I have reached out to her? I don't know, but I think it was a good thing. And I think something good can come of it. The ball's in her court and she may or may not reach out, but I'm going to be okay with whatever she chooses to do and wherever she is. But it's just so nice to have someone that I trust like you and someone that knows me, and you and I are, I think, getting to know each other pretty well through all of our work together. And my husband clearly knows me and my kids and my friends. It feels good to have that kind of support. And I think by creating that with our platform, hopefully more and more women can feel that kind of support and empowerment.
That kind of empowerment, that kind of love, that we see you as you are. We love you as you are. And we also see your blind spots and maybe we'll point them out a little bit.
Right. That's so important.
I agree.
Because we need to be set straight sometimes. My husband's and Fred actually just set me straight.
He did, didn't he?
On perspective a few minutes ago when I was lamenting the reality of our political, atmosphere. And he's like, well, people came back home in body bags at Vietnam, get some perspective. And I was like, that's an excellent point. Things could be worse or different. So you always have to appreciate where you are and what you have to learn, I guess.
I agree.
On that, I think we could both declare gratefulness for community, and we will head to our first commercial break.